Jamming. Tell my neighbor come over. He telling me load on music. He telling me that's ain't right. The neighborhood quiet as ever. No problems to sleep at night. I tell him I love me soca. The music hot like a true love. Bring your body, come on out here. Move your body just like you don't care. We jamming it so sweet. Feel the rhythm, feel the heat. Bring your waist from walk to the soca. All our ways just jam together. I tell them it's so sweet. Feel the rhythm, feel the heat. And bring your waist from walk to the soca. All our ways just jam together. I tell them it's so nice. Change your mind and don't think twice. I tell them it's so nice. He moving the whole crowd, singing soca loud and loud. It's my neighbor, no control. He said he just can't do that. He never hear music, so I tell him that's how we do it. Bring up what's on there, let's ride. It's a lovely fetting all night. Come join and feel the vibe. I tell him just come over, enjoy yourself, no pressure. We jamming it so sweet. Feel the rhythm, feel the heat. Bring your waist, come walk to the soca. All of we just jam together. I tell him it's so nice. Change your mind and don't think twice. I tell him it's so nice. He moving the whole crowd, singing soca loud and loud. It's my neighbor, no control. The music pumping big time, and woman taking small wine.
Greetings and salutations, one and all.
Something say look in the corner.
Welcome to the night shift to DJ Kevin Steele.
Under the air, he jamming.
It's Community and Finance Night.
He moving the whole crowd, singing soca loud and loud.
And
No control.
like we do sometimes,
No, he moving the whole
we have a representative from a section of our community hanging out with us tonight.
control. We jamming it so sweet. Feel the rhythm, feel the heat.
But before we get into that,
Walk to the soca.
we got to do some housekeeping, eh?
I tell them it's so sweet. Feel the rhythm, feel the heat. Bring your waist
I want to say big ups to all my affiliates all over the globe and everyone locked in right now. Much love to those across the pond, One Harmony Radio. Top of the morning to you guys over there in the UK.
feel the rhythm, feel the heat.
King Genius, Queen Genius, how you doing?
Soca, all of we just jam together.
Much love.
So sweet. Feel the rhythm, feel the heat. Bring your waist up, walk
Want to say blessings to the massive up there in New Jersey.
together. I tell them
Locked in on NIE Radio.
mind and don't
Hanging out to New Jersey's finest, the motivator. Blessings, my brother.
he moving the whole crowd, singing soca loud and loud.
I want to say a special welcome to some new family members from up there in New Jersey. Well, new to the night shift.
Over. He telling me load on music. He telling me that's ain't right. The neighborhood
We're talking about mix102.com.
night. I tell him I love me soca. The music hot like a true love. Bring your body, come on.
I want to say blessings to the Mix 102 massive.
Jamming it so sweet. Feel the rhythm, feel the heat.
And hearing my voice for the first time
All of we just jam together. I
on the land of my birth.
feel the rhythm, feel
Those in Jamaica,
bring your waist
locked in on Earth 96 FM.
together. I tell him it's so nice. Change your mind and
So happy to be a part of your world
so nice.
as you become a part of mine.
He moving the whole crowd, singing soca loud and
Much love to those who are locked in out of New York.
control. He said,
Bouncing with Island Worldwide, exhibiting the power of music.
I tell him that's how we do it. Bring up what's on there, let's ride. It's a lovely fest.
Those who are locked in on the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com.
Tell him just come over.
Blessings to you.
Have no pressure. We jamming it so sweet. Feel the rhythm, feel the heat. Bring your waist, come walk to the soca. All of we just jam together. I tell him it's so nice. Change your mind and don't think twice. I tell him it's so nice. He moving the whole crowd, singing soca loud and loud. It's my neighbor, no control.
I want to say much love to those who are locked in
Woman taking small wine.
on the home of the night shift to DJ Kevin Steele,
Joy and this that. Something say look.
KevinSteele.com.
Neighbor, he come over, he hand in the air, he jamming. On a bumper, it says moving, he moving the whole crowd, singing soca loud and loud.
Those who are locked in on Zeno FM.
What went on, I don't know.
Bouncing in the stew pot. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
We jamming it so sweet. Feel the rhythm, feel the heat. Bring your waist from walk to the soca. All of we just jam together. I tell them it's so sweet. Feel the rhythm, feel the heat.
Those who are locked in on YouTube Live.
To the soca. All of we just jam together.
Welcome to you. All my neighbors out there.
We jamming it so sweet. Feel the rhythm, feel the heat. Bring your waist from walk to the soca. All of we just jam together. We jamming it so sweet. Feel the rhythm, feel the heat. Bring your waist from walk to the soca. All of we just jam together. I tell them it's so nice. Change your mind and don't think twice.
You best believe it is so nice. The sound of Shelly Sweet Shells kicking things off.
He tell them hello.
A track called My Neighbor.
Tell them it's acting right. The neighborhood white as ever. No problems to sleep at night. I tell them I love me soca. The music hot like a true love. Bring your body, come on out here. Move your body just like you don't care. We jamming it so sweet. Feel the rhythm, feel the heat. Bring your waist from walk to the soca.
As we are joined by
Jam together.
one of my neighbors.
Sweet. Feel the rhythm, feel the heat. And bring your waist from walk to the soca. All of we just jam together. I tell them it's so nice. Change
Because, you know, we're all neighbors around here, you know.
I tell them it's so nice. He moving the whole crowd, singing soca loud and loud. It's my neighbor, no control.
I want to say thank you to my segment sponsors before we get into the meat of the matter.
So I tell them that's how we do it. Bring up what's on there, let's ride. It's a love.
Thank you to Paul C Media Group.
Come join and feel the
When being in the moment is priceless, go ahead and give them a call.
enjoy your
754-999-1140.
so sweet. Feel the rhythm, feel the heat. Bring
You have an event you want to stream live on a secure platform,
together.
whether yours or theirs.
Change your mind
You
and
can call them up
I tell them it's
and tell them Kevin Stew sent you.
nice.
At 754-999-1140.
Singing so it's my neighbor, no control. The music pumping big time. And
Thank you, Paul C Media Group.
oh yeah, we in the street when we jamming, enjoying.
They're responsible for my streaming.
Look in the corner, it's my neighbor.
They can do yours too.
The hand in the air, he jamming. On a bumper, it says moving.
I want to say thank you to Althea and her Healing Heavenly Hands.
Singing soca loud and loud. It's my neighbor.
Althea is a licensed massage therapist operating out of Broward County, North Miami-Dade, and South Palm Beach counties.
Soca loud and loud.
She comes to you,
No control.
bringing her table, her oils, and over 20 years massage therapy experience.
Feel the rhythm, feel the heat. Bring your waist from walk to the soca. All of we just jam together. I
Give her a call, 954-655-9000. Schedule your appointment today.
from walk to the soca.
She only has one request outside of paying her, and that is you get off her table and go sleep somewhere else when she's done.
Jamming, jamming.
Because if you're anything like me, you're guaranteed to fall asleep. It's called the Kevin Stew clause for that very reason.
Bring your waist from walk to the soca. All of we just
She has amazing hands.
jamming, it's so sweet. Feel the rhythm, feel the heat. Bring your waist from walk to the soca. All of we just jam together. I tell them it's so
Want to say thank you to the Global Base.
don't think twice. I tell them it's so nice.
The Global Base is your one-stop shop for everything related to marketing, promotion, social media, music, and event planning.
Yes, my neighbor.
You can't go wrong with the Global Base, trust me.
He tell them load on music. He
Check them out
chatting right.
on theglobalbase.com. That's DAGlobalBASE.com.
The soca, the music hot like a true love. Bring your body, come on out here. Move your body just like
Link up with them.
jamming it so
Tell them you heard about them on the night shift to DJ Kevin Steele.
deep. Bring your waist from walk to the soca.
They'll take extra special care of you.
I tell them it's so sweet. Feel the rhythm, feel the heat. And bring your waist from walk to the soca.
I want to say thank you to McNeil Trucking.
Together, I tell them it's so nice. Change
With McNeil Trucking, your goods are in good hands.
so nice.
They're licensed and insured movers in the state of Florida.
He moving the whole
So you want to move from the Keys up to Jacksonville?
crowd. It's my
You
neighbor.
want to move from Naples over to Palm Beach? From Pompano to Pensacola? And all points in between.
The music so
You want to put some things in storage? Don't have the manpower, don't have the transportation? Don't worry.
nice. It's a love.
You have the name, you have the number.
Join and feel.
McNeil Trucking.
I tell
954-406-9740. Call them up today. Tell them Kevin Stew sent you. Get your affairs in order and get moving. So, my neighbor over there chilling in some mood light and things. Bruce, I'm gonna need for you to put some more light on. I don't know how you're gonna do it, but I need some more light. People need to see your face. Oh my goodness. You have your mic muted, Bruce. You have your mic muted.
We jamming it so sweet. Feel the rhythm, feel the heat. Bring your waist from walk to the soca. All of we just jam together.
You have yourself on mute.
Sweet. Feel the rhythm, feel the heat. Bring your waist from walk to the soca. All of we just jam together. Yes, my neighbor.
Okay, I should be able to hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, loud and clear.
So sweet.
Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to call a friend, tell a friend, friends of your friends, friends of your enemies, enemies of your friends, and your enemies too. Call up somebody, anybody, everybody. Let them know. Tonight we're talking JURA. Ju who? JURA. You don't know what it is, you don't know anything about it. Tonight you're gonna find out. And I have someone that, listen, this guy, whew, I met him yesterday for the first time, believe it or not, just yesterday. And he brought a wealth of knowledge. So, without further ado, why is it I can only sit top of it? Alright, I'll fix that, don't worry about it. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you my guest for the evening. Former or past president of JURA, the Jamaica United Relief Association, Mr. Bruce Palmer. Bruce, welcome to the broadcast.
Thanks, Kevin. Good night. Thanks for having me on.
All right. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. So, Bruce, JURA, Jamaica United Relief Association. Talk to us a little bit. Tell us what JURA is.
JURA is a local nonprofit, Florida-based local nonprofit that was founded in 1985 by a lady called by the name of Joan Seago Gonzalez and a few other civic-minded Jamaicans who saw the need to find the courage and the ability to help the less fortunate in Jamaica and the wider Caribbean community by providing, resources and relief wherever possible. So this organization has been around for close to 40 years, and it has been a bit low key. We're not braggadocious, but we are very effective in the community, especially the local community here and in Jamaica and the wider Caribbean.
It has been very low key, because I can tell you, until recently, I didn't know anything about JURA. And I pride myself in being familiar with a number of organizations doing work in the wider community. And for you guys to be around almost 40 years, that's a big deal.
It is indeed. And the organization precedes me, the formation precedes me by a number of years. And when I joined the organization, I just kind of followed suit, you know. So I realized that the people who spearheaded this organization, they were very selfless people. They put everyone ahead of themselves, and we kind of pride ourselves in doing that. So we don't, we don't stand on the street corner and say, look, this is what we do, this is what we're doing. We
Right.
let the work speak for itself.
And when you talk about the work, you're talking about things like what?
We're talking about things like healthcare, education, social services, feeding the homeless, that kind of stuff. That's what we do.
And this is something that you guys have been doing for almost 40 years. 1985. In 1985, where was I? I was in primary school. I was at St. Richard's Primary on Red Hills Road.
Okay.
2 years before I started high school. So I was in, and I graduated primary school, grade 5. So I was in grade 3 in 1985.
Yep. It's almost like a lifetime, if you ask me.
Well, for me, it definitely was.
Yeah.
So, healthcare, education, two of the I would consider primary needs in any community. Social services
Right.
don't happen without healthcare and education. And
Correct.
and this organization has been involved in that. How exactly did the organization get started? Because I heard a story, and I'd like for you to share that story with this group of listeners, especially those who. And I want to tell you, I have a brand new set of listeners out of Jamaica right now, courtesy of Earth 96 FM in Jamaica. So, big ups to the Earth 96 family and the Mix102.com family up there in Jersey. Tell us how JURA got started, because I found the story to be quite interesting.
Well, Kevin, I am not exactly sure how it got started. Well, like I said before, Joan Seaga Gonzalez, she was the one who spearheaded the founding of the organization. They were in the community and they saw the need to, to find a way to help the less fortunate. And what I do know is that it started out in her living room as such, where people just get together. Maybe they were sipping tea and just brainstorming, and they came up with this idea of forming this organization, and that's how it started. Then, like I mentioned to you yesterday, there were a group of guys down in North Miami that had a kind of quasi-domino club.
Yes.
And they used to meet and play dominoes. And they would have little get-togethers, and they would put a little money aside here. If you drop a $6 on a man, you would say, okay, put a $10 in that cup or so, something like that.
Right.
And that's how that domino group started. And they kind of morphed into a more or less a fundraising, domino club. And they were called People's Choice. And then they heard about JURA, and they got together with JURA and pooled their resources and joined forces. And that's how the established JURA organization started. And it took off from there.
From a combination of a living room and a domino club.
A domino table.
Boy, when groups of individuals with like minds come together, amazing things can happen. What are some of the things that JURA has done already? Because we know based on information I gathered yesterday, courtesy of Bar Talk, and some of my listeners know about Bar Talk. It happens on Sunday evenings at 5 p.m. on Jamaicans.com, courtesy of Luke Ballantyne, and the Moment to Remember studio. So you guys have been helping out some organizations, and so I want you to tell me some of the projects that you know of and some of them that you've been involved in coming through the years.
Okay. Some of the early projects that JURA got involved in were like we started to help during natural disasters. Those were some of the very early projects, like Hurricane Gilbert. When Hurricane Gilbert hit Jamaica, JURA, they collected resources and shipped them to Jamaica, and to help in the hurricane relief process. Then, when this dreaded disease called AIDS hit Jamaica, JURA got involved in what was termed at the time Jamaica AIDS Relief. There's a program called Jamaica AIDS Relief where JURA raised a lot of funds and sent to Jamaica. So, because as you guys all know, the listeners may know, that people tend to shun you when they hear you have AIDS. They think that AIDS is a death sentence.
Yes.
And it's a plague that has been cast upon you, and it's like you commit an unpardonable sin. But you're still a human being, and somebody has to care for you.
Yes. Yes.
So JURA jumped into the fray and raised funds and helped Jamaica tremendously. I think they donated, several $1,000s, to maybe close to $100,000 to Jamaica AIDS Relief. Then out of that, they started to get more heavily involved in the healthcare field. And the organization started to support some dental clinics and some projects for, at-risk kids and stuff like that. So these are some of the early things that we did, as an organization. And then when we started to gather more members and get more established, we started to launch out into bigger projects.
Bigger projects?
Yeah, bigger projects.
Like what, so?
Okay. Some of our major projects that we have done in Jamaica. There was an organization in Spanish Town called the 3D Project, where they had at-risk kids and kids with developmental disabilities. We went to Jamaica. That was one of the first projects that I was personally involved in. We went to Jamaica. It's like a home. I think we had like 16 young kids there, and I think we had like 4 adults there who were developmentally disabled.
Okay.
And we refurbished the house, we refurnished the house, we, upgraded the yard, we planted a lawn, we put down a lawn, we planted trees, we trimmed the trees, and, we just gave the home a totally different facelift. And then we furnished the house, we bought them refrigerators, stoves, washing machines, and stuff like that. We made them totally self-sufficient. And in addition to that, we also gave them financial support.
How long did that project go on for?
The project is still ongoing. We set them on a course where they became self-sufficient. And we still visit the project from time to time, but we're not that heavily involved now because they're like I said, they're self-sufficient.
Right,
they're
right.
still going on, and from time to time when we visit Jamaica, we pay them a visit just to see how they're doing. if they have any particular needs that they, bring to our attention, then we try to fill those needs. But as far as, ongoing support is concerned from JURA, we don't do the day-to-day support like we did in the early years.
So you basically get started with a project with the intent to let that project take care of itself.
Take care of itself. Yes.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Now, I myself have been involved in giving back to the community pretty much all my life because I grew up going to church in the Salvation Army. And so outreach was a big thing. What was it that led you to get involved in something like this?
Well, some friends of mine were involved in JURA, and I always hear them talk about JURA. And I, quite honestly, I never really paid much attention to what they were doing. Then I attended a couple of their functions, and when people get up and they speak, so eloquently about what they are doing and what they are doing, just as volunteers. As volunteer, because everybody in JURA is a volunteer. There are no paid staff in JURA. Everyone is a volunteer. And then when I realized that, we spend so much time playing dominoes and doing other things, and there are more useful things that we could be doing with some of our time. We don't have to dedicate all our time, but there's a need to give some of our time, because somewhere along the line, someone did something for us that we didn't do for ourselves. Right. I think that as Jamaicans and as good-hearted people in the community, we need to give back some of what God has blessed us with. If it's not financial, it can be just our time and our our
expertise,
other resources. And expertise, yes.
You made mention of a particular project relating to healthcare in Jamaica.
Yeah.
A few projects. You guys have been involved in a few projects in relating to healthcare. Share some of those with us, please.
Okay. Number one, some years ago, we on a visit to Jamaica, it was brought to our attention that some of the hospitals, like Cornwall Regional Hospital in Montego Bay and the Victoria Jubilee Hospital in Kingston, there are 800 babies a month that are born in that hospital. 800 per month. Victoria Jubilee Hospital is a teaching hospital, and it's a regional hospital, because people, the smaller hospitals around the country, around Jamaica, they all send their cases to Victoria Jubilee. They can't manage them. And Victoria Jubilee also manages cases from overseas. Now, we realize that these hospitals, especially Victoria Jubilee and Cornwall, because so many babies are born there, there's tremendous burden on the equipment that they have. And we realized that they didn't have. Cornwall Regional had one working incubator when we visited the hospital. And I think Victoria Jubilee had two. Can you consider 800 babies being born per month in a hospital? And a lot of them are preemies, which need to be incubated.
Right.
And they have two working incubators. So we jumped right into the fray, and we came back to Florida, and we just launched a fundraising event and raised some funds. And our first debate was that we gave 2 incubators to Cornwall Regional, and the first donation to Victoria Jubilee was 3. And the following year, we made another donation to Victoria Jubilee. And Cornwall, I believe, got some resources from the UK, from an organization in the UK. So we sort of shifted our focus to where the greater need was, and that was Victoria Jubilee. And that project, we are still continuing to serve that project, Victoria Jubilee.
How
as we speak.
how long ago was that project started?
We started that project in 2015.
So in the realm of projects, major projects, this is still in its infancy.
Yes.
Because when you take on a project like that, you're talking about a hospital with 800 new patients
Baby.
each month. That's a big deal. Yes, it's a revolving door because it's babies. People have babies and then they leave out. However, those first few days of life are very important. And
exactly.
To have an organization like JURA coming in and giving assistance where needed with equipment it's a big deal, because when you look at a country like Jamaica, our resources tend to be limited in some areas. And this has always been the case as far as I know. Now, is Jamaica the only place that JURA lends its assistance?
No. We lend our assistance to Haiti, the Bahamas, and the Cayman Islands. We have contributed to those islands in the past. Yeah, those are not ongoing projects. Those are just as the need arises.
Yes.
We step in. We give them aid and assistance. Yeah. But going back to Victoria Jubilee, having visited the facility, for the hospital for a number of years, and our primary focus are the babies, the preemies and all of that. But then when you walk through the facility and you see the dedication of the doctors and nurses, and then you look at the conditions under which they are working, it breaks your heart. Because, sometimes, you wonder if there is, if the government is turning a blind eye to these institutions, because if you see some of the equipment that the doctors, we saw 4 or 5 doctors using one desk. Sharing one desk. Okay?
And this is to write up cases?
But you have to do your charts, and you have to do your notes, and so they take turns. One sits on the chair, writes this thing, the other one gets up, and that kind of thing. So there's in that area we also jump in and we provide assistance to them. But the primary focus are the babies.
Well, I would say that you did not lose sight of the primary focus, because to provide equipment for the hospital to use in patient care is one thing. It's another thing to have those that are using the equipment be able to do so effectively. And a part of doing that is to make sure that the other aspects of their job can be taken care of.
Exactly.
So, that insight, that scope of vision that the organization had was awesome, because people get involved in certain projects and they tend to have tunnel vision. They look at the end goal, and it is to do this one thing, and all they can focus on is getting this one thing done, not paying attention to the other things that play a part in making sure that even if this one thing is done, that it can operate effectively. And
Correct.
I think you guys caught that and addressed that really well, to recognize that, hey, these doctors need better facilities to take care of what they need to do to make sure that all these patients get the adequate care. Because when that doctor gone off on some other rounds somewhere else, those charts, those records that the nurses need to continue what the doctor is doing, where they're gonna get them if the doctor can't write them up. So
Exactly.
yeah, that makes a big difference, and it is a really big deal.
It is. It is. Yeah.
When I don't know how it is that JURA managed to keep such a low profile all this time, almost 40 years, and it isn't a household name like a Salvation Army or a Red Cross or a Food for the Poor. It's I don't know, maybe because those are international organizations. I guess I don't know.
Probably. You were probably right there. Maybe they're international organizations, and they get big funding from large corporations.
Yes.
JURA, and I have to give a shout out to some of the sponsors that have helped JURA in these efforts over the years. Organizations like Baptist Health, Victoria Jubilee, Jamaica National, Grace Kennedy, organizations like that. They have always come to to our aid when we're having fundraisers, because everything we do is through fundraising. And like I mentioned to you and Mr. Valentine yesterday, 95%, at least minimum of 95% of what we raise in funds go to our projects, because like I said, JURA has very minimal overheads, and almost every dollar that we raise go to our projects. So we don't have big executives getting big payouts of what we raise. All of it goes to our projects.
And that too is another big deal. Finding individuals to keep the organization going, to keep the organization growing, would be quite the task when there's nothing to get from the organization. How long were you? Did you hold the presidency of this organization?
I have been president twice. My first go around was a 2-year term.
Yes.
And my second 2-year term, just at the end of my second 2-year term, COVID hit. And then, I had to take it all the way through COVID, and I just relinquished the post earlier this year.
Big ups, Roxana.
But I'm
Madam
still
President.
on the board. I'm still on the board of management, so I'm still heavily involved. But I believe the question you're asking is, how do we get people, to be a part of this organization, and knowing that they're not paid and they're not, you have to be selfless. You have to be a servant leader. You have to have you have to have that in your DNA, to be a servant, to serve others and not yourself.
That's easier said than done.
And it's easier said than done, but that's the mentality that we try to, or the culture we try to maintain in JURA. You when you come to JURA, you come to serve. You don't come to be served.
But all right, so by nature, people tend to look out for themselves. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to get involved in a thing unless I'm going to get some type of reward, some type of recognition. Is there a pitch that Jura has used outside of saying, you know, you have to be selfless to be a part and to really get the benefit that Jura gives? You know, is there any pitch that has been used over time?
Not that I know, Kevin. Not that I know that there's a, but I think all the previous leaders before me, and
Yes.
even the current leader, you know, I think people lead by example, and when people come to Jura, they see how people operate and how they lead, and
Hmm.
if you may say to yourself, this is somebody I want to be like. I want to do what this person is doing.
Right.
You know. So that's, but there's no particular pitch that we use.
I think you might want to get something going, you know, some kind of slogan.
Well, well, you know what, Kevin, we have some new blood. We have some new blood in Jura, and they're going to take us in another direction.
Yes.
Hopefully an upward trajectory. And I think we can the age that we are operating in now, the digital age.
Yes.
We need that focus, and I think we are on the path to achieving that and to building that, and by doing so, the wider public, the wider community, the wider world is going to get to know more about Jura in a short time, just by using the digital platforms that we have, to put our name out there, not as individuals, but as an organization.
Right.
And the body of our work will be there for people to see and to read and to see what we have done and what we are doing. And if they're so inclined, there's always an opportunity for them to join or to donate and all of that stuff. So that's where we're heading.
Has there been any documentation of the projects that Jura has been involved in, or the projects currently running? Can people go somewhere and say, all right, these are the projects that they did? Or
Yeah,
because you guys just went in, took
if
care of
you,
it, and went out, it didn't matter?
no, if you go to our website, juraflorida.org,
Yes.
and you can click on the link that says About Us. It will give you a history of the projects that we have been involved in since 1985. And another area that I mentioned earlier was the area of education. We have been giving scholarships for quite a number of years now. And traditionally, because our core value, our core principles were healthcare, social services, education. Those are our core values. So education is a big part of it. So previously we were just giving out, maybe 2 or 3 one-time scholarships per year. So we kind of brainstormed and we said, we give 3 students a scholarship this year, and we send them off to college, and we don't know what happens to them next year because it's a one-time scholarship. So we changed our focus and we said, look, we changed our focus 2 years ago, and we said each scholarship that we give is going to be for a full 4-year ride. Stipulation is you have to remain in school, and you have to let us have we get your grades and your transcripts from the school to make sure that you are doing what you're supposed to do, or you're not renewed.
Right.
So because it's a free ride, as you can say, but it's not a free ride.
Well, nothing is really free.
Exactly.
for those that are listening in, you can be a part of this broadcast. You can ask a question, you can call in, you can jump into the stew pot. Those of you who don't know what the stew pot is, it's what others would call a chat room. Or because we're fancy on kevinstew.com, it is called the stew pot. It's where we keep things interactive and bubbling. You can remain anonymous if you want. You can put your name. You don't have to register of a firstborn, an internal organ, or a blood sacrifice. Just go to kevinstew.com and you are in. Participate that way. Of course, you can also call and text, WhatsApp, Telegram. 773-789-STEW is a number to use. 773-789-7839. From anywhere in the world. Call, text, WhatsApp, Telegram, they all work and bring you in right here, live and in living color. You get to talk with Bruce. You get to talk with me. You get to ask a question. You get to say how JURA helped you or someone you knew or know. You know, share your story, your interactions with JURA, because for 40 years almost, an organization like this has been busy, not just in Jamaica, but touching other parts of the Caribbean also. And so someone out there has to have some type of a story. Maybe they didn't know that JURA was involved. Because do you guys kind of make an announcement that, hey, you know, a little fanfare or something, JURA is here and this is a project that we're working with? Or you just sneak in and get things done? How is it done? How do you guys at JURA do it?
Okay, when we identify projects, and you know, we have three major fundraising events each year, which is our annual gala, which is coming up. It's usually on the first Saturday in August. We call it a Jamaica Independence Gala.
Okay.
So we always try to make it right around Independence. This year, unfortunately, because Independence Day falls. Today is yesterday was Independence Day, actually, and there are so many things going on. We shifted our date to the 12th, but it's early enough in August.
Right.
So we have our annual Jamaica Independence Gala, and we've always done this, under the auspices of the Consulate General of Jamaica in Miami. And we also have an event that is called Jazz by the Water, which is a jazz concert, which we hold usually around the end of May each year. And then we have an annual golf tournament in October each year. And each one of these projects, each one of these fundraising projects, the funds that we raise are geared towards one of our either healthcare, education, or social services. The gala funds our scholarship program. The jazz funds our healthcare program.
So,
and the
golf is social services.
The golf is social services. Yes.
So
go ahead, Kevin.
Since this coming Saturday is going to be the one that is closest to us.
Yes.
This is happening where?
It's happening at the Marriott Hotel in Heron Bay, Coral Springs. It's Fort Lauderdale Marriott at Heron Bay in Coral Springs. And it's Saturday, August 12th. It starts at 7 p.m. Tickets are $139 per person. You get a 3-course meal. You get fantastic entertainment. You get to hear from a few speakers that we're having this year that are we've gotten away from having a guest speaker, and coming out of COVID, we have kind of looked at the landscape, and we realize that, you know, people are working differently now. People are not going to offices anymore. A lot of people are still working from home. You know, they're using technology to work. We're using technology to do other things. So we're going to be hearing from 3 people who are going to just give us their perspective on how we navigate this this new normal that we are in. So it's gonna be interactive and very interesting. So this is one thing, you can look forward to. And then, like I said, all the funds we raise goes toward our projects.
So
we're asking the public to come out and give us 100% support because, this is a worthy cause. This is a noble cause. And, we look forward to seeing a lot of you there.
$139 seems like a real odd number. That's so odd.
Kevin, you met a young lady yesterday who is part of our group, and she's a tremendous young lady.
Yes.
Her name is Keisha Johnson, and Keisha came to JURA, and Keisha was in corporate America. I believe she was in marketing,
Yes.
sometime, in some way. And when we were setting the pricing for this event, some people threw in $150, some people threw in $140, and Keisha said, okay, I'm going to use a marketing strategy, and I'm going to say $139. And so I said to her, why $139? If a guy gives me $140, I'm going to have to search for $1 to give him his change. And she said, well,
that's the strategy.
My strategy is that if I say $139, you're not going to think you're paying $140. You're going to think in the 30s, in the 130s. So that's a strategy that she came up with, and it seems to work.
Well, so she basically used the gas station strategy.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. $39.99.
Yeah. So you're not paying $40 a gallon for gas. You're paying $39.99.
Exactly.
I like it. So that explains that. And from this 139, 95, roughly. That's about 95% of each dollar. So 95 cents from every dollar goes into the program.
Into our project, yes.
Into the projects. In this case, it goes towards a 4-year scholarship.
Exactly.
How many of those are given out each year?
Well, usually we give 3. But during COVID, because we were not very active in fundraising, because of COVID, we weren't able to do some of our projects, some of our fundraising projects. So last year, we only gave out 1 scholarship. This year, we plan to give 2 scholarships this year. It's because we're gradually picking up back since COVID. So, we weren't able to do a lot of fundraising during COVID because, just because of the whole situation. But our aim is to give 2 scholarships this year.
Now, when you mentioned scholarship, and you mentioned earlier that it's pretty much a free ride, what exactly is this scholarship covering?
It covers tuition primarily, and some of it goes toward their other resources.
Now, tuition for a 4-year degree program, 2 to 4 year degree program. This is just in Jamaica?
No. This is in Florida. All of our scholarships are local here in Florida.
Oh.
Now they're one of our sponsors. That is Florida Perinatal Centers, Dr. Christine Edwards.
Yes.
She's one of our major sponsors, and she has a story. She has a story to tell. Her mother graduated from college with her degree at age 96.
Oh wow!
She graduated last year, at age 96. And in recognition of that, her family has started a scholarship fund in her name, which is tenable at the University of the West Indies in Jamaica. They announced it at our gala last year, and they originally planned to give two full scholarships, $400,000 each. And that's Jamaica, $400,000 each. But instead of giving 2 scholarships, they have given 4 scholarships. And the link to that scholarship application for the University of the West Indies is on our website, which is JURAFlorida.org.
So it's JURAFL.org.
JURAFL.org. So, anyone who's interested in the scholarship, University of the West Indies, or if you have a child or a friend or a relative in Jamaica who would like to apply, just go to our website and all the details are there. You can make your application. You see all the details, all the requirements. So you can do that.
Likewise, the scholarships for here in Florida.
Yeah.
Is it just for Florida or across the United States?
It's across the United States. Across the United States.
So the requirements for that scholarship is also on the website?
Yes, it's also on the website. And we have a scholarship committee because our current president is involved in the education field, and she has expertise in how to she goes to the colleges and talk to students and all of that stuff, and get them to help them to navigate how to apply for these scholarships and stuff like that. So that's where we are with that.
How has those who have received scholarships in the past, are any of those people involved with JURA now?
Yes, they are. But we require or we ask them to at least to come back to JURA and lend some, give us some, pay back some of what they have, received in volunteering to help JURA, with in whatever way they can. We know when the young people leave college, they want to find a job and go out and work. And but one of the things we do, we have them come back to each event every year and give testimonials and tell how JURA has helped them. So at the gala you will probably be hearing from one of our scholarship recipients to say how JURA has impacted their lives, like giving them a scholarship to go to college and so on and so forth. Yeah.
What is the GPA required to hold the scholarship? Do you know?
3.2. 3.2.
So you're not asking for anybody to be a genius to get one of these scholarships.
We just ask them to be consistent and stay in school. We're not asking them to be a rocket scientist. We just want, we want to help them through the process, help them through college. We're not asking for a 4.0 or a 5.0. 3.2 is what they need to meet.
And maintain. So if they fall below a 3.2 in one semester, it doesn't mean that they're going to lose a scholarship.
No, it does not. But we have to we call them in and we have a little evaluation and we see, because there are extraneous circumstances that can cause you to to falter a little bit.
Yes.
Because we have all been there. We have all done that. We don't know what each particular student might be going through at any particular time. So we have to give them some grace. So we usually try to have them come and have a talk with us and find out what their circumstances are, what might have caused them to gaze a little bit and fall below the average, and we help them along. We help them to get back on track and put them in the right direction. But we don't take away their scholarship because of one semester. If you're not in school, then that's another question.
Okay. And understandably so too, because it doesn't make sense that you're gonna be funding you're not attending school.
Yeah,
It doesn't make
yeah,
sense. That's the reason for
yeah,
it to be a scholarship, so that you don't have to
yeah.
worry about trying to go out there and muster up the funds.
Exactly,
It's one
exactly.
less thing for you to think about. Gives you the opportunity to focus on your education, so that you can be in a position
Education.
to pass it, to pay it forward, pass it
Yes,
on.
sir. Yeah.
Now, when at this time of the year, there's always the back to school drive and the back to school giveaways and stuff. Jura doesn't really get involved in things like that.
We um we have a little school in Jamaica. It's called the We Angels, and this is a little school that kind of sprung out of Victoria Jubilee because it's right across the street from Victoria Jubilee Hospital, where our major healthcare project focus is.
Yes.
And like I mentioned to the audience and to you guys, 800 babies are born at Victoria Jubilee every year, and a lot of these babies are born to teenage mothers. Some of them are young girls who are in school and get pregnant, and they can scarcely afford to take care of these babies. So what We Angels does, they have a little school. The school is attached to a church right there across the street. So
Okay.
we go in and we have pictures on our website of the transformation that we did to that school. We went there, we built a playground, we put in playground equipment, we give them little chairs and mats and, refrigerator. We give them, a lot of resources. And that's, a lot of the kids that go to that school are the kids of the teenage mothers that have those babies at Victoria Jubilee.
As here looking at some of those pictures, as we were talking, as
Yeah. And
this.
sometimes, when you look at when you go and you see, I don't know if you've ever walked into a little classroom, in a classroom with some little, 3 and 4 and 5 year olds,
Oh yes.
when they see you walk through the door, I mean, they all swarm you like bees, and they're so precious, they're so
Mm-hmm.
precious,
Mm-hmm.
you can't help but just shower love on them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't make many trips to Jamaica, and I was on a cruise, stopped in Oterius for a day, and one of the things I did was to walk into, there's a little school right there in this in around in the square, and I asked if I could read to the children, and we went in and we did a little bit of a fun time with the kids reading, and the kids were just so happy. It's not like someone walked in that looked any different from them.
Hmm.
It was just
Yeah.
someone else other than who they would see every day. And the fact that, I guess, the idea that someone else would care, it made a difference to them. And everybody was appreciative. The teachers were appreciative, the principal, the kids, everybody loved it. And if that is any indication or any idea of what would happen if someone were to say, let me put my $20
Hmm.
towards We Angels, this is a kind
Yeah.
of outcome that you'd get, that one little face getting lit up, because
Exactly.
now they they could get 2 exercise books and a pencil and a rubber.
Exactly. Yeah.
When I was in primary school, everything, it was all about having a rubber.
All about having a rubber. Yeah, you have your own rubber. You don't have to borrow your neighbors.
Right. For those who don't know what a rubber is, it's an eraser.
There's a joke about rubber. You have to be careful when you use that word rubber. It's an English joke. It's an English joke.
Okay. but these are the things. And whenever I hear of organizations giving back to communities in this fashion, it really raises my eyebrow. It lets me turn my head and give a listening ear to exactly what it is that they're doing. Having, like I said, grown up where this was primarily what was done. Every year, several times a year, I'd be at children's homes, hospitals, prisons, nursing homes. Several times a year. It was a thing that we did. So it kind of was second nature to me. And then I started community college. I was a part of Circle K, and we did the same thing. I was at XED, the primary school across the street. We adopted them and we went over there and we did projects. It was just a thing. Not everybody gets to have the privilege of being a part of something bigger than themselves. And JURA, still, although around for almost 40 years, is, in terms of size, a fledgling organization where you don't get lost in the crowd.
No.
Your involvement is direct. People know your name. I heard something to the effect of about 20 active members.
Active members, yep.
At any given time?
That's correct. At any given time. People come and go, but, we kind of maintain an average of around 20, here and there, yeah.
No.
And one of the projects that I didn't speak on the social services side of what we do. And like I mentioned on Bar Talk yesterday, a few years ago, JURA went into Trenchtown.
Yes.
And we adopted a home for the aged. It's called the Irish Side, a Golden Age Home.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I gave the audience yesterday a little history of how that home started. Trenchtown is an area in Jamaica that was, political violence was rampant during the 60s and 70s. And
yes.
A lot of people had to flee their homes who weren't murdered, had to flee their homes. And there were a bunch of old people that were left behind with nowhere to live, nowhere to go, nobody to care for them. And a group of guys from the area, right there in Trenchtown, they got together and they started this home for the aged. And there was a singer that an artist from Trenchtown, he's from Trenchtown, called Tapazuki, who was on tour in Switzerland. And met this Swiss lady who, they got interested and, they became friends. And he told them about the home because he's from Trenchtown. And she came to Jamaica and started to give assistance to this home. And eventually they named the home after her. At that time, the home did not have a name. So the home was named after her because she was the main source of support to that home up until the time of her death. Now, after her death, her daughter continued to provide support to the home.
That's
awesome. But then of course, bureaucracy got into play, and for some reason, that source of support was severed. So JURA stepped in and took up the slack, and JURA has been supporting that home for ever since that time. So this is what, and this is they're all the people, all the residents there are people in their 80s and 90s.
So this one now gets the majority of its funding from the golf tournament.
From the golf tournament, yes. From the golf tournament, yes.
And that happens in October.
The golf tournament happens in October. Yeah. And like I said to you, all these projects we go there, we improve the physical facilities. We went to that home, we put in new plumbing, we put in new lighting and electricity, we installed fans, we upgraded the home, and we have them at a good place. All we provide them now is financial support, and they have a maintenance crew there. Guys from the community do maintenance on the property, for free. We don't pay them. They volunteer to do it.
Oh wow!
There's a paid staff there that takes care of the residents of the home, and the Bob Marley Foundation also is a contributor to that home.
Okay.
Financially, so they're in a good place.
Yes. Listen, this is awesome, and all the information linking, relating to these projects, and how to get involved in these projects are on jurafl.org, the website for JURA.
Yes.
Listen.
Repeat that.
It's I will repeat it. It's jurafl.org.
.org. Yes.
So anybody thinking that I sound funny when I talk, it's JURAFL, F as in fish,
.org.
L.org.
That's correct.
You really can't go too wrong with that. They keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Yeah,
Keep it simple.
The Jamaica United Relief Association, JURA for short.
JURAFL.org.
And the more often we say it, the more people remember it. So I think we're gonna say it like 15 more times before we get done.
I need to put a little more emphasis on the gala for me, Kevin.
Yes.
Urge your listeners to come out and support us this weekend. We have a tremendous amount of value to offer, and we need the funds to fund these scholarships that we're giving this year. Like I said again, it's $139. It's going to be at the Marriott in Heron Bay, Coral Springs, and starts at 7 p.m. sharp. There's a 1 hour. There's a cocktail hour from 7 to 8 with an open bar, and
how open is this bar?
It's wide open. It's wide open. Wide open for an hour. Wide open for an hour. After that, at 8 p.m. sharp, then it's going to be a cash bar.
Okay. I think that's pretty fair. That's pretty fair. Since it is a fundraiser, let me see if I can get this up on the screen. I can use this and that. Let me see. I found the flyer, and so I'm trying to. I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. Put the flyer up on the screen so that people can see it. But so wait. It was 139 up until July 31st.
No, it was 120. up until July 31st. That was the early bird special.
Huh.
After July 31st, it's 139.
All right. So now I'm just going off of what I was seeing here on this flyer.
Is that how it reads?
Yes, and I'm gonna put it up right now. Let me just cut there and trim there. See, live TV, you know, you get to do some really fancy things when you do on live TV. Yes. So that is how it reads. So let me show the people what I see. And because of there we go. I make that big. There we go. So it reads, the future is now. The Jamaica United Relief Association, JURA, under the distinguished patronage of the Consul General R. Oliver Mayer, I never use the R, Consulate General of Jamaica, Miami, celebrates Jamaica's 61st anniversary of independence. Of course, he is the Consulate General for the southern 13 states in the United States. It is $139 through July 31st, $159 August 1st through August 12th, $1,200 table specials through July 31st. And for more information or to purchase tickets, call 754-900-5269. That's 754-900-5269. And this happens on Saturday, August 12th, 2023 at the Marriott Fort Lauderdale, Coral Springs Hotel and Convention Center. Address 11775 Heron Bay Boulevard, Coral Springs, 33079. And it happens at 7 p.m. So come on out on Saturday, August 12, 2023 at the Marriott Fort Lauderdale, Coral Springs Hotel and Convention Center, 11775 Heron Bay Boulevard in Coral Springs. Use my announcer voice.
Thanks, Kevin. Thank you, sir.
Use up my announcer voice, you know.
Okay. Great job.
I thank you. I've been practicing.
Okay.
So, this looks like it's gonna be quite the event. It looks like it's gonna be awesome. It wasn't mentioned any entertainment, and I get to understand that there will be some entertainment there also.
There is entertainment. Well, I'm not so versed on the entertainment, but I believe it's going to be Bobby Rose, and I think the young lady yesterday spoke about an awesome entertainer that we're bringing on.
Yes,
but,
this young lady, I forgot her name.
Yes,
Bobby.
exactly, I forgot her.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be a DJ as well. So
yes,
there's gonna be band music, an entertainer and a disco.
Oh, nice.
A DJ. Yeah.
So Bobby Rose, a lot of people here in South Florida, in the Fort Lauderdale area, would be familiar with Bobby Rose. If you go by Lalo's on a Friday night, he's a guy that provides awesome entertainment, live entertainment.
Exactly.
He's in the garden on a Sunday evening. I knew Bobby when he was slim. he bulked up now. So, but he's an awesome entertainer. He did many years operating a solo act on cruise ships, so he can hold his own. Not many people know that story, but yeah, he can hold his own, and with a live band behind him, there's no telling what you will get. So some good entertainment definitely will be happening at this event, but more so, you get to be a part of something greater. You get to contribute to the education of our future leaders. And no amount of money could really suffice in that effort. because when you look at some of the leaders that we have right now, we definitely need to invest in our future. So
Yes, we definitely do.
So, coming up this Saturday, you don't want to miss out on this. You can still get tickets. I get to understand there are only a few tickets still left.
Just a few, just a very few.
So,
So hurry up and start calling that number, as you may not be able to get in.
but if you don't get in, you can still donate.
You can still donate. You can go online, click the donate button, and you can donate. Or you can Zelle your donation to this telephone number 954-240-6448. It goes straight into JURA's account. So you can donate either through the link on the website, the donate button on the website.
Yes.
Or you can send your donations via Zelle to 954-240-6448.
I know lots of
all
people.
contributions are tax deductible because we're a 501c3 organization.
That's awesome too. That's always a good thing. A lot of people tend to be weary about zelling to numbers that they don't know directly.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
go ahead and flood the website. It's jurafl.org.
Preferably.
Yeah.
To
In
go
fact,
to the website.
go now. JURAFL.org. And if you're listening to this broadcast by way of the podcast 2 months from now, you can still go there. if you sharing the YouTube link with someone next week after the event, not a problem. Still go there. JURA, JURAFL, F as in fish, L.org. JURAFL.org. Use up the website. Go there. I'm gonna let you give some final words, Bruce. While you're doing that, I'm gonna give the people a little bit of a slideshow. Some of the photos that are on the JURA page, because I can do that. So
yeah. Well, I just want to say, without our sponsors in the community, we have to thank, CARICOM Freight Consolidators, Caribbean Ocean Logistics, we have Bank of America, we have Baptist Health, we have Food for the Poor, we have Jamaica National, JN Money Services, Victoria Mutual, Florida Perinatal Centers, Williams Hardware, Seminole Supply, 4C Graphic. These are all some of our sponsors that have been very loyal and faithful to us over the years. So we want to thank them all. We want to thank them for their past support. We want to thank them for their current support. And we look forward to working with all of them in the future. So once again, I'm going to ask you all to come out and give us your support on Saturday the 12th at 7 p.m. at the Marriott Heron Bay, 11775 Heron Bay Boulevard in Coral Springs. It's going to be an awesome night of food, friendship, and entertainment. And whatever you do, however you choose to support, it will be going to a very, very worthy cause. And thank you all again, and we look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
I thank you very much, Bruce. Thank you for taking the time out to share what JURA has been doing over the past almost 40 years, 38 years.
Almost 40. Yes, sir.
And what JURA continues to do with not a whole lot of people passing through the doors, and there's an opportunity for JURA to expand and for you the listeners out there to be a part of it. And it doesn't really matter where in the world you are, whether you're listening in on One Harmony Radio up there in the UK, or you're in Jamaica on Earth 96 FM, in Jersey on NIE Radio, or New York on Island Worldwide, on the Foundation Radio Network, wherever you are in the world right now, or later on as you hear this broadcast, you can be a part of this. There's a membership that is, again, go to the website and let me see, I saw it somewhere on the website where you can become a member. You can become a member. You can just donate, or you can become a member. So,
or just help us to spread the word about, you know, the projects that we're doing and the fundraisers that we're undertaking. You know, drive some people to the site. You know, drive your neighbors, your friends, your kids, you know, your kids' friends. You know. And just drive them to the site and let them take a look at what we're doing, and, you know, let you show some love.
Yeah, and the membership isn't expensive either. The membership is like what, $60 a year or something?
$60 a year. $60 a year, and that basically takes care of our administrative expenses. You know, so that when I said all the, you know, 95% of what we raise in fundraising goes to our projects, you know, because we have very low overheads, and we try to use the, you know, the membership fees to take care of administrative expenses. That's what we do.
My father used to say, you can't beat that with a long stick. You can't.
No.
you simply can't. And as such, you get to be a part of, again, something bigger.
Yes.
How can you not want to be a part of something bigger? That's awesome. We're gonna wrap things up over here, Bruce. Again, thank you for taking the time out. Thank you for what you've done already and what you're continuing to do with JURA, not just in Jamaica, but here in South Florida and other parts of the Caribbean where you've become involved. There was some involvement in New Orleans too, wasn't there?
Yes. During Katrina, yes.
So, you know, it's not just because we are from the Caribbean that we lend hands to the Caribbean over here in JURA, or because it is based in South Florida that it's only South Florida that gets a hand. The scholarship is good across the United States. Assistance is given where it is needed. Now, this year will be kind of interesting. I don't know how thin JURA can spread, because you see, up in Alaska, with the glacier melting quickly, people's homes are just going downriver, literally. And with it being as hot as it has been across the country, people losing their minds. So you find people breaking out in fights.
Right.
Yeah, you know, so I hope y'all can manage, but guess what? With the resources, it makes everything easier. So because many hands make light work, go ahead, dip your many hands into your many pockets and send a little something over to JURA, so that and be a part of it. Help them to spend it. Help them to use that resource to make somebody else's life, or some youngsters, give them a better future. Someone who is elderly, let them see the end of their days with a little bit more comfort. You can be a part of that. Bruce, take care.
All right, Kevin.
I'll see you on Saturday.
You, sir. Thank you. I certainly enjoyed this, and, you know, see you Saturday. Okay?
Definitely.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Have a good night.
Okay.
As we jump into musical therapy, this is on a Pat Satchmo working out to the Stamina All Stars.
This make you stressed.
The track is called Try Love.
The case to rest. Love is easy, hate is tough. The people have had enough. That's why I say we got to try love. It's better to make a friend and not an enemy. Them say must keep them closer, but they'll drain your energy. Yeah. So how about this time we try to get along? I know it can be tough to find some common ground, 'cause love is easy, hate is rough. The people have had enough. That's why I say we got to try love. Try love. That is the key. Try love. It'll set you free. Oh, try love. Yeah. 'Cause all getting vexed will do is make you stressed. Now it's time to put the case to rest. Love is easy, hate is tough. The people have had enough. That's why I say we got to try love. Try love. Love is real, love is sure. Love is the key that opens doors. Love is patient, love is kind. Love make you see although it's blind. Love is easy, love is pain. Love is the sunshine through the rain. Love is open, love is free. The only hope for you and me. Oh, you got to give this thing a try. My oh my. 'Cause love is easy, hate is tough. Your people been through enough. That's why I say we got to try love. Try love. Got to try love. Oh yeah. Got to try love. Gotta give love a try. What's the problem? Stop it. Did you ever try love? Yeah. Stop it.
Have you tried love?
Gotta give love a try, yeah.
Of course, you know you can try your love, right? This is on a Pat Satchmo working out with Stamina All Stars. A track called Try Love. This is Empress Unique. It's called Sweet Vibration. Coming off the Independence weekend.
Sweet vibration.
Why not have some sweet vibration?
We're gonna play sweet music all over the nation. Come on, play the bass line. Play it for me, my bassy. Can you hear my keys in the middle? Just a dropping it easy. Hear me drum upon him drum. I beat up every man I play him cymbal. He is the heartbeat of
This is on Reggae Man himself, Hal Anthony. It's called Get Up and Dance.
It's so hard to resist your charm. I just wanna say, can I have this dance? If yes, so get up, get up, get up and dance with me. Get up, get up, get up, come dance with me. Get up, get up, get up and dance with me. Get up, get up, get up, come dance with me. Thank you so much for that lovely dance. Been a long time I've danced like that. Maybe someday we can dance again. Or if before the night is over. So get up, get up, get up and dance with me. Get up, get up, get up, come dance with me. Get up, get up, get up, come dance with me. Get up, get up, get up and dance with me. Oh, I feel good for such a lovely night. Oh, it's so beautiful. Get up, get up, get up and dance with me. Get up, get up, get up, come on dance with me. Get up, get up, get up, come dance with me. Get up, get up and dance with me. Thank you so much for that lovely dance. Maybe someday we can dance again. I saw you sitting there all night. Maybe we can do it again. With your beautiful eyes shining so bright, rocking the beat that sounds so sweet. Would you mind if I sit beside you? I just wanna have a chat with you. No more heartache, no more pain, no more sorrow, no more strain. With you, everything is so sweet. So come on down and dance. Get up, get up, get up and dance with me. Get up, get up, get up and dance with me. Get up, get up, get up, come dance with me. Get up, get up and dance with me. Thank you so much for that lovely dance. Maybe someday we can dance.
You'll be so sorry.
This is on a Code Red Band. Talking about the Dance Crasher.
You know what the man says? Say we having a party. Everyone is feeling irie. We don't wanna fuss, no fight. Everyone is feeling quite alright. Yeah. Here comes Mr. Screwface on the coming on the dance with your gun in our way. Somebody call the Sarge, screw on them entourage. One commercial
Bobby Rose, who will be one of the entertainers at this gala coming up this weekend. JURA's fundraising gala. He used to be one of the lead singers of this band, Code Red Band.
Big one, my youth, 'cause if you don't die well, me now pick no fight with Jack, we want to bubble when chill. No dance crash out. Oh no, no, don't break it up, please don't make a fuss. Don't feel the night, day the night, the better life. I'm so sorry.
Music from Korik. It's called No Weapons Allowed.
No weapons allowed in the party. Just bring your queen and left the machine. Everybody feeling I'm there. No weapons allowed in the party. Power on the scene. Make sure bring your queen. If the bad vibes on wood and keep the vibes clean. No weapons allowed in the party. Just bring your queen and left the machine. Everybody feeling I'm there. No weapons allowed in the party. Power on the scene. Make sure bring your queen. If the bad vibes on wood before you walk in. It's time for us to have some fun. Cause we work so hard, know the weekend done. Party time, call the weekend done. We don't want no negativity. So if a badness you are free and not invited to this party, we come to dance to the music. Take your girl by the hand. Feel the music while we use it to spread love across the land. We come to dance to the music and we're only having fun. So leave the bad vibes, leave the night, and leave all the guns because there's no weapons allowed in the party. Just bring your queen and left your machine. Everybody feeling irate. No weapons allowed in the party. Power on the scene. Make sure bring your queen. Let the bad vibes are road and keep the vibes clean. No weapons allowed in the party. Just bring your queen and left your machine. Everybody feeling irate. No weapons allowed in the party. Power on the scene. Make sure bring your queen. Let the bad vibes are road before you walk in. Every woman on my girlfriend. And every man in all the place on my brethren. Be a good vibes so you been with my friend them. Music a play selector that's a shell them. It's a party not a war zone. So leave all your weapons at home. Bring your girls and your crews and your dancing shoes, but don't bring your phone call. We come to dance to the music. Take your girl by the hand. Feel the music while we use it to spread love across the land. We come to dance to the music and we're only having fun. So leave the bad vibes, leave the knives, and leave all the guns because there's no weapons allowed in the party. Just bring your queen and left the machine. Everybody feeling irate. No weapons allowed in the party. Power on the scene. Make sure bring your queen. Let the bad vibes on road and keep the vibes clean. No weapons allowed in the party. Just bring your queen and left the machine. Everybody feeling irate. No weapons allowed in the party. Power on the scene. Make sure bring your queen. Let the bad vibes on road before you walk in. Well, I'm in the mood to have a good time tonight. I just saw the party people down there. We come to have fun. We never bring no gun, cause I just saw the party people down there. We feel alright, and we don't want fight, and we don't hear the party people down there. We come to dance to the music. Take your girl by the hand. Feel the music while we use it to spread love across the land. We come to dance to the music and we're only having fun. So leave the bad vibes, leave the night.
I just got a message.
No weapons allowed in
Listen,
the party. Just bring your queen and left your machine.
if If you are in the shower right now
No weapons allowed in the party.
and you're doing the scare,
Make sure bring your queen. Left the bad man.
more power to you.
No weapons allowed in the party. Just bring your queen and left
You can do the water pump it too.
I'm there.
You're in the right place to do it.
Allowed in the party. Make sure bring your queen. Left the bad man. I'll look before you.
Peaches, nice up yourself, yeah? Let me bring things down a bit. Because we're wrapping things up. We gotta go to bed, right? 10 more minutes to go. This is Lacey Soul. It's called Fantasy of Mine.
I never knew you were a danger in disguise. You saved me from spending an eternity alone in the dark. You were my life, just your smile, and I can feel your tenderness. Now I see you are the one that's meant for me. I believe for me this is what's meant to be. I found out once again, for me will never end this fantasy.
I DJ Kevin G. Pull up that song, them like it, but
Yeah, man, it wicked. But like 10 Kung Fu Master.
How much you remember? Stay with me.
Yeah, stay with me. Just 9 more minutes. Oh, yeah.
Like you came to take me to the sky. I never knew you were a danger in disguise. You saved me from spending an eternity alone in the
Music from Clive.
Even when I try,
His rendition of Circles.
don't believe it. Do this every time. Seasons change and I love where it goes. Leave the thing 'cause we can't let go. Run away, but we're running in circles. Run away, run away. I tell you to do something. I'm waiting on you again, so I don't take the blame. Run away, but we're running in circles. Run away, run away, run away. I got this feeling that it's time to let go. I said so. I knew that this was doomed from the get-go. You thought that it was special, special, but it was just the sex though, the sex though. You're not still the echo. I got a feeling that it's time to let it go. Let it go. Seasons change and I love where it goes. Leave the thing 'cause we can't let go. Run away, but you're running in circles. Run away, run away. I tell you to do something. I'm waiting on you again, so I don't take the blame. Run away, but you're running in circles. Run away, run away, run away. Maybe you don't understand what I'm going through. It's only me. What you got to lose? Make up your mind. Tell me what are you gonna do? It's only me. Let it go. Seasons change and I love where it goes. Leave the thing 'cause we can't let go. Run away, but you're running in circles. Run away, run away. I tell you to me. You are the reason I'm losing my sleep. It's gone.
This is the sound of Mr. Kirk Davis.
There goes my mind.
You might know him as Little Kirk.
You are the reason.
His rendition of You Are the Reason.
Instead of breathing, it's so blessed.
And best know, you are the reason I do this.
Every mountain and swim every ocean.
And if that's what it takes to make the night shift happen, that's what I'm gonna do.
With this what is growing. 'Cause I need you to say.
What I need you to do is to remember to look out for members of your community. Remember, your community is not just a development that you live in, but it spreads far and wide. So those that you pass on the bus, the plane, the boat, or the train, whether you walk, ride, or drive, these are members of your community. Do something good for them today. You never know who's going to do something good for you tomorrow. My name is Kevin Stewart, so I like to do it to you, for you, and with you. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays right here, kevinstew.com, 10 p.m. Eastern. Welcome once again to the brand new affiliates, Mix102.com and Earth 96 FM. Blessings, so glad to have you.
I'm every mountain and swim every ocean just to be with you.
As we get out of here, remember, you can contribute to what JURA is doing at any time. You don't have to wait until the gala this weekend. You can just go to the website, JURAFL.org, JURAFL.org. Be a part of it, yeah? Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever you are in the world. From right here in South Florida, I bid you all a good night. Be good, but if you can't be good at it. Until we meet again, take care. Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.